Heroes walk among us every day. Many times we have no idea who they are.
Tonight in The Price of Freedom, Josh Rowe has the story of retired Marine Corps Sergeant Major Haskell Clark. Josh.
Kim and Calvin, more than 30 years in the Marine Corps. He fought in 3 wars, finished his career serving in the President's Helicopter Squadron. Chattanooga's Haskell Clark had a long, distinguished military career and has a lot of stories to tell. He told us some of those. Young Haskell Clark went to boot camp in 1940. Back then, he had no idea the journey he was on.
I was young. I was scared to death 90% of the time.
He saw his first combat in World War II during the landing at Guadalcanal.
The pilot, when we were going down, because we were shot up pretty bad, and he says, you go ahead and jump. And I said, are you going to jump? He says, no, I'm going to try to take it down. I says, well, I'm going to be back here praying for you.
The plane crashed and Haskell injured his leg. He returned to combat in Okinawa, then was part of the occupation force in Japan. At one point, he was missing in action. His father, a preacher in the Chattanooga area, calmed his friends and family.
He told the congregation, well, now don't worry about Haskell because he's too mean to die. And I questioned my mother to see if he really said that, and she said he did.
Clark says he wasn't missing. He was in Australia. Clark was also on the USS Missouri when the surrender treaty with Japan was signed.
Admiral Nimitz?
Right,
And this says this is Douglas
this
MacArthur?
Is MacArthur. They took a few men off of each ship that was in the fleet. And that's how I got there.
After World War II, he did several different jobs. He was a recruiter, did 2 tours as a drill instructor. He fought in Korea and Vietnam.
I was an outstanding Marine, and I'm going to get phone calls on that statement.
But one of the assignments he is most proud of came late in his career when he worked at HMX, the Presidential Helicopter Squadron for President Lyndon Johnson.
We got along real well, he and I did, because he said what he thought, I said what I thought, and they didn't always agree, but we never did get down to fisticuffs.
President Johnson liked him so much he invited Haskell and his wife to the White House when he retired.
Lady Bird, I think, might have embarrassed him because she broke line and come and hugged me.
Haskell Clark is an interesting man. Had several jobs outside the Marine Corps. He worked for the Postal Service, worked in radio. He was also a referee for professional wrestling matches here in Chattanooga. His wife, Della, passed away a few years ago. They were married 63 years, had 4 children, all daughters.